Rest in peace, NotebookLM. Well, maybe not quite, but basically Genspark AI, which is an AI agent company from China, just released a new feature called Genspark AI Pods, where you can create podcasts by just sending a simple prompt. So this is an AI agent tool, so it is not just creating a podcast based on the document that you provided. You can also ask it to do a research. It will read content from lots of pages on the internet, and it will create a podcast based on its finding. So you can just provide a simple prompt, simple instruction, and it will create an audio podcast that sounds quite realistic, and you could enjoy the content while you are riding back home or maybe doing some chores, and you don't have to look at the screen to understand the content. So let me give you one example that I created, and I'll let you to judge whether or not it sounds better or worse than NotebookLM. But I think it sounds quite decent. So let me play the audio for you.
Welcome to AI Weekly, where we cut through the noise to bring you the signal in artificial intelligence. I'm your
If maybe slightly distracting prospect, but while Musk is putting in AI in our cars, revolutionary breakthrough.
Right, a story out of Germany
Yeah,
that might just hold the key to AI's sustainable future.
$144 billion.
But here's the paradox.
Alright, I would say it sounds decent, maybe not quite as natural as NotebookLM, but it sounds really well. And also, it is actually quite possible to add background music. You can ask AI to add some background music to make the podcast more enjoyable. It is something that you can do, and unfortunately, not even NotebookLM can do that. So that's one key advantage from Genspark AI Pods, and in this video I'm going to show exactly how you can create an AI podcast using Genspark AI Pods. So here you can navigate to genspark.ai, and then you can create a free account, or you can log in with your Genspark account, and basically you are getting 200 credits every day, and that should be enough to create one podcast every day, one or maybe even two podcasts every day, and it is free. And after that, you can navigate to AI Pods menu right here, and it will open a page where we can start creating an AI podcast from a prompt or from a document, or you can also provide even a video or recording to be converted into a podcast. Now, actually, we'll compare the result from NotebookLM. So previously, I tried using NotebookLM to create a podcast, and I was using this prompt. So I was using this prompt, help me understand the naming scheme of various AI or large language model and the technicalities behind them. Pretend that I'm new to AI. So that was the keyword that I used on NotebookLM to create this podcast, and it sounds decent. Now I'll do the same to Genspark AI Pods. Let's try using the same prompt and just send a message and just wait for a few minutes for Genspark AI Pods to turn or to do the research and then to create a podcast content based on all the content that it reads. Now, while still doing the research, I want to give you my overview about the podcast that was created by NotebookLM. So this one is decent, I would say. It sounds quite realistic, but it is not really exactly answering my question. So my request was, I want to understand some naming schemes on some AI models. Like, for example, here in a llama model, there is naming like 1B instruct and then multi prefill, sequential, something like that. And then there is also this model, DeepSeek R1 distill. What is distill? What is multi-prefill sequential? What is the TF light extension? What is the meaning of all of that? Because there are so many AI models out there with weird naming scheme, and that's what I'm trying to understand using NotebookLM. But unfortunately, it is mostly focused on general terms like BERT and also GPT tokens or parameter, which is, I guess, it still makes sense, but that's not exactly what I want to hear when I'm asking AI to do research about the naming scheme on large language models. So hopefully, Genspark can give me something that's at least much closer or close to my expectation when I'm using this AI prompt. So this process will take quite a while, and usually Genspark will produce a 5 to 10 minutes podcast, and I guess I'll just be back when it is done and I'll show you the result and I'll share my thoughts about it. All right, after about 50 minutes, now the podcast has been created. I actually have listened a few sections of it, and I gotta say it sounds pretty good. And by the way, there is something here that I think it is worth mentioning, is that there is no cover at all. There should be a picture somewhere in here, but I'm running out of credits, so I guess the 200 credits is only enough for creating a podcast, but there is no cover picture, which is not really important in my opinion, but anyway, this is the result, and I'm going to play just a few seconds of it, and you can tell that it is going to be better, much more accurate than NotebookLM. So let me play the audio for you.
Sense of the complex technologies shaping our world. I'm Alex. And welcome to Decoded, where we make sense of the complex technologies shaping our world. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ben. Today we're tackling the seemingly cryptic names of AI models.
Yeah.
You hear about GPT-4o, Claude 3, Beak.
So Ben, let's break it down. What's the first thing we need to know to start
Decoding a car model for parameters. Think of parameter billion parameter model needs information, but not very useful as an assistant.
It can't apply as GPT-4o.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the whole audio here, but basically, yes, it does accurately represent my expectation. It actually tackles some naming schemes from AI models, especially the open source AI models, which can be very complicated, and it does answer my question. So it is doing better than NotebookLM, although, in my opinion, the tonality is not as good as NotebookLM, but the fact that it is accurate, and you can also specify the gender of the person, the host, the AI. You can make the sound to be man, woman, or you can also add background music, is something that is good, something that is always appreciated in tools like this. And yeah, basically that's how you can create an AI podcast using Genspark AI. And I think I'll cover more tutorials about AI pods in Genspark, because this tool is just really amazing. There are so many things that you can do, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more amazing tutorials just like that one. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a great day.